All right, let's get to audience questions for the week. First one, increasingly relevant as the vaccine rollout continues and vaccines are made available to more and more Americans. David, do you know people personally who are refusing to get the coronavirus vaccine? You know, I do. And I don't really know conspiracy theory types personally who are saying, oh, it'll alter your DNA or you're going to get microchipped by the vaccine. I know that a lot of people believe that because I've seen the data, I've seen the surveys, but I don't know any of those folks personally. What I'm seeing mostly in the people I know who are saying they're not planning to get vaccinated, or at least not for now, is lack of information. They're just ignorant to the fact. So, like, as one example, a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago said, I'm not even going to think about getting a vaccine until they do the phase 3 trials. And I explained to him, for the approved vaccines, phase 3 trials have been done. I mean, the phase 3 trials have been done for months, and we got that data in November, December, and it was reviewed by the FDA, and then an emergency use authorization was put forward. And he said, "Really? Oh, I didn't know." And I said, "Yeah, I mean that you need the phase 3 data." There was a discussion last summer about do we do an emergency use order before finishing phase 3 if the data looks good? It wasn't done. Phase 3 has been done. And once I explained that to him, he said, "Oh, well, I guess I'll look into it." Now, what was really kind of scary is he works in the healthcare field. And we've read about a significant portion of nurses and others working in the healthcare field who are saying, I'm not going to get the vaccine. So that's some folks that I'm hearing from who say they're not going to get it. It's something like that. They don't think it's been approved. They don't think phase 3 is done or whatever the case may be. But phase 3 is done and there is an emergency use authorization. The other people that I personally know who are refusing is a weird term now because most of them aren't yet eligible, but who are telling me they don't plan to get a vaccine, is that they're sort of saying it as from a libertarian perspective, like they're against forced vaccination. And I kind of point out to them, if you're opting not to get it, clearly you're not forced. And then this gets into this weird discussion about, well, if in order to fly, you are required to have it, you are being forced to get it. And I try to explain there's a difference between mandatory and required for certain activities. And I end up kind of coming back to the same place from this libertarian perspective, which is, as a libertarian, do you respect the right of, just hypothetically, Delta Airlines to say, we require people who want to fly with us to present proof of vaccination after a certain date? And they end up usually in a pretzel of some kind where they are uber libertarians who think businesses shouldn't be regulated, they should be allowed to do whatever they want. And yet somehow they want to be able to decide what Delta's policy should be. And if they want to fly without a vaccine, they should be allowed to. You've got to be a little more consistent here. And there is not going to be a mandatory vaccination from the government. There's no legal basis to do that. But that being said, there are all sorts of different institutions that might say, if you want to choose to avail yourself of our product or service or to do business with us, one of our requirements is that you be vaccinated. And this is not legally problematic. This is not constitutionally an issue, etc. Now, in terms of the number of people remaining in the U.S. who don't plan to get the vaccine, I don't know whether to say we're in a good place or we're not in a good place. There was a point months and months ago where more than half the country said they did not plan to get a coronavirus vaccine. That number is down to about a third of the country, and it continues to go down. It's good that the percentage of people who don't plan to get it has basically dropped by half. The concerning part is that I don't know that with 2/3 of adults getting the vaccine, 2/3 of adults getting it, and 1/3 not, that we're going to reach herd immunity. And that's really the concern at this point. Dr. Fauci and others have said, in particular, since we're not going to be vaccinating kids in the immediate, we need close to all adults to get the vaccine, particularly with these more transmissible variants, to really have herd immunity and protection. So there's good news here, which is vaccine hesitancy is declining. The bad news is there's still a lot of people, including otherwise educated individuals, who think everything from the vaccine will alter your DNA it'll allow the government to track you. Which reminds me, there is one acquaintance. This is not a friend, but it's an acquaintance who posted to Facebook not long ago. I have some reasonable concerns about the vaccine. I'm not saying I'm not going to get it, but I do believe this, that, and that it could be used to track my location. And a lot of our shared friends started trying to talk her off the ledge. I just had to unfriend. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. And I know many of you have come up against the same situation.